Once again, I thank every one of you, Mr. Joseph Kanike, Nalule, Miss Pina, Barbara, Mrs. Phoebe. I thank you, all of you. I thank you that you have joined us today. You took off your time to honor this meeting. I thank you very, very much. But then special thanks to those people that tune in every Friday. You know, the ones that really want to transform us, or want to hear, or want to spread the news. That is Mrs. Phoebe. I don't know. Yes, I don't know if I'm correct at pronouncing it right. Mr. Joseph Kanike, Nalule, I adore you. Every time I am late or something, I'm tuned in. You guys are over there. I adore you very much. Those are special thanks to you. So I will request everyone kindly unmute your microphones, and we speak out our slogan. You know, when we speak it, we confess it, we have it, and we will do it. You know, let us confess our slogan. Let us speak out our slogan. Let us state our slogan. If you could unmute your microphones, then Carol Nakaiwa, I'm waiting on you so that we can state who we are. We can state our slogan. Carol, Mr. Transformers Hub, my IT personnel.
Carol is gone freezing.
Okay. So I can just go ahead with a few that have their microphones.
She's right there.
Okay. Carol, are you there? We're unmuting our microphones so that we can state our slogan. So for the rest of us that are on, I think the others are hearing, and they might not unmute their microphones. We are timeless transformers. And we commit to live to our greatness. Yes, let us do it one more time.
To our greatness.
One more time. We are timeless transformers, and we commit to live to our greatness. Yeah, wow. That is perfect. I have feedback. I don't know where it's coming from, but it's okay. We can roll on. It is so far beautiful. So without further ado, let me welcome this other secret admirer of mine. I don't know about you, but I secretly admire him, though I told him now it's not a secret anymore, and it's still a secret anyways. Things happen, you know. But anyways, this is, you know, someone that grooms you from when you are young. When they ask you a question, who do you look up to? Tina said she was admiring people, you know, Kayanja. Me, this was the one I was admiring. When he steps us to dance, he is dancing. If it is singing, he's singing. He literally means everything he does. There is no in between. He doesn't have an in between. He doesn't have, we will play now and, you know, try it. And every other time he tries to do something, he is doing it perfectly. I knew and I know the moment I met him, he was meant to transform lives. Okay, sometimes he did things that were delaying him to get to this course. But of course, the moment that I saw him, I think I was with Carol, the moment we met this gentleman, the moment we met this secret admirer of mine, I knew that he was born to transform lives. He has transformed my life from I don't know when. I keep talking about him every other time. We had this, every time I tried to have dance sessions with people, I told them by the time we were learning how to dance or perfecting, there was this gentleman, if you do not know what you're doing, you belong at the back. So he kept telling you, you should know what you're doing. You should prepare yourself. You should brace yourself. You should teach yourself. You should challenge yourself so that every time you belong at the front, not at the back. So I have lived with this for the rest of my life, knowing that I belong at the front. So I should know what I am doing. I should prepare myself. I should change myself. So I know I have spoken too much and I can go on and on and on. You can give me a week to talk about the perfection of this gentleman, and I will not bore you. I will tell you everything every day. How, oh my goodness, he did so many things. But let me cut myself and calm myself down, and introduce the handsome, the only one, the transformer, the timeless, every other thing, Edwin Peter Sawankamo. The floor is all yours, sir.
Thank you, thank you. Truly humbled. It's a beautiful thing to hear such impactful words. It kind of makes you feel. I love appreciating people, but when people start appreciating me, I feel a little small. I don't know what to do with myself. But I'm truly humbled to be here today. Thank you so much, our host today. Man, that is mouth-watering, spine-tickling way of hosting this. It is, you brought some new life in it, you know. It feels hyper. You're not like the temperate, composed Carol CK. That, you know, she's always composed, very like you're the hyper, let's go. And yeah, it feels great, you know, to bring the atmosphere, new energy, and then
Yeah.
get, you know, you just, you know, throw us in, and we are proud of you. Thank you so much for purposing to host us tonight. Our request, HR, I think you need to speak to us. She's the CEO of Kingdom Realties, based all the way in Dubai. She's amazing. She leads us as our head with the CEO. I happen to be a partner with them, and man, they are doing great things. They are preparing. The world has not yet seen what Kingdom Realties is all about. But like Tina said, it's not the time to give up. It's not the time to give up. It's the time to push on regardless. We are not going to sink in this boat. We are not going to let ourselves tread in the waters and drown in the waters. It's the time for us to lift our hope high and let us believe on God. We are not seeking with the boat. We are going to put our hope in Him, and He will silence the storm, and it is coming down. Nothing else is going to stop us. COVID cannot stop Christ. We are in one with God. And if we are with one with Him and He silenced the storm, man, the storm has to calm down. It has to be silenced. And that is our hope. We are not letting down. And that does not stop us to prepare for what God has purposed us to do regardless. Let it be in your business. Let it be in your place of work. Let it be in ministry. You ought not to give up. You ought to brace up yourself and keep believing against all odds. Keep hoping against all odds. It is not the time to throw in the towel. You know, it is the time to raise your banner high and say, I rather die fighting rather than dying without doing nothing. Whatever you avoid to do, you will never in one moment ever get to the point of overcoming it. So what you keep doing is what brings you to victory. So well, thank you so much once again to the entire family of Transformers Hub. This is our day. This is where we come and, you know, shine ourselves. This is where we come and put ourselves together, lock arms with each other, help each other win in life. Remember, we are timeless transformers. We are meant to impact, transform, influence, bring difference in people's lives, bring change in people's communities, neighborhoods, societies, clubs, fraternities. That is what we are meant to do. That wherever you stay, you are such a radiant figure that brings forth transformation, impact, change, that when you are to leave, they will feel the gap that you left. The day you fail to cause people to miss you, is the day you get to know that you've not been a transformer. And I reckon we are the right people as timeless transformers to bring change and make people miss us even when we go down to our grave. And I'm proud I am not part of them that are going to the grave full of me. I'm going to the grave completely empty, and the grave will not have anything to feed on me. I'll be completely empty, and all that I have on the inside of me, I should have emptied it to the world, not as a problem, but as a solution. Edwin Peter, once again, the timeless transformer, a living solution to the world's problems. I am born not to fail, but to win, a successor, not a failure. I am the one that was designed to meticulously, uniquely, and exemplarily make this world a better place. There is no better person other than me to make this world a better place. And I believe you are also a better person, not any other better person that can make your world a better place, except it starts with you. Once again, we are here today to talk about influence. Influence. Somebody help me say influence. Yeah.
Influence.
Influence. Just take off your mics and just say influence. Influence. Man, influence is such a very pertinent, integral part of every human being. We cannot live without influence. We cannot. It is hard for us to live in our communities, in our societies, in our places of work, in ministry, in our circles, in our families. We live and breathe off influence. We live, I say again, we live off influence. We live off influence. It is an integral fabric of our entire existence. Influence. Wherever we are, we transact ourselves involuntarily or voluntarily through influence. You may not understand it. That's why I said involuntarily. But we govern, we run ourselves on influence. Everything that you are today, that you have become today, it spills out of influence. What influenced you before? Tina was talking about Juliana, our CEO, Kingdom Royalties. Madame Becky did say that at one point I was an influence to her, and most of us have so many other people that influenced us on a daily. So many things influence our lives. What is so special about influence that it becomes a fabric, a very integral aspect or attribute of life that man cannot do without? So influence is very key. It's a very pertinent, very essential to someone's life if they are going to become timeless transformers. Influence at your place of work, influence contributes a lot to your work. Influence contributes a lot to your ministry. Influence contributes a lot to your family, to your marriage. Influence contributes a lot in your society, in the little community. Influence in the midst of your friends and clubs you go to. Influence contributes a lot. So us ignoring influence is self-suffocation in life. So we ought to understand, how do we go about influence? So today's topic, we're gonna discover, or we're gonna look out for, what is influence? Why influence? How do I become influential? And by the time we are done, I want us to understand that we ought to be as timeless transformers, we ought to have come from a place where we are no longer influenced, but we become influencers. Can you still hear me loud and clear?
Yes.
Yes, we hear you loud and
Okay.
clear.
Yeah.
Awesome. 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 Thank you, Madam Becky. All right. So the thing is, why is it so important that we have to discuss influence? That is the question everyone is probably saying. Why is it important for us to discuss influence? It is a total disaster to live in this world without influence. I repeat, it's a total disaster to live in this world without influence. One of my writers that I read about, Ian Berry, did say that influence and persuasion are the two most powerful traits. Oh my goodness, I love this. He says influence and persuasion are the two most powerful traits that can help you achieve your desired level of success. As timeless transformers, do we have a hunger for a certain level of success? Here comes Ian Berry. He says that influence and persuasion are the two most powerful, listen to that, powerful traits, attributes that can help us achieve as timeless transformers. So it is important to understand that influence is not just an ordinary attribute. It is it's a powerful attribute of life that we need to hold on unto. I want also to say this: devoid of influence, success is only an illusion to you. Devoid of influence, success is only an illusion to you. Forget it. Don't even attempt to ever think about success if you have no influence. The world we live in today is a continued display of all forms of influence, voluntarily and involuntarily, politically, religiously, spiritually, philosophically, ideologically. Mention it. The world palpitates and gravitates and orchestrates itself around influence. You know, influence is a very integral aspect of humanity, short of which man is a mere dummy of himself. I repeat, influence is an integral part of humanity, short of which man is a mere dummy of himself. Because if you do not live to the fullness of your influence, you are ordinarily a dummy that has been clothed up, looks like a human being, and unfortunately, and it's not living. Dressed up. And when you look around it from a distance, you may even misrepresent it for a human being that is living, but it's lifeless. That is how influence is, man. So it is very crucial in someone's life to understand influence, because short of which you're merely a dummy existing. Man, I would love to say, is fully consummated. When I say consummated, means perfected. Man is fully perfected as far as his influence on planet Earth. You're fully perfected in this planet as far as your influence. If you are not influencing anybody on this planet Earth, you're short of your timeless seeded assignment. I'll come to that later. for you to be able to fully assimilate and internalize and conceptualize and conceive the principles that we are talking of today. So the question will start running in your mind right now. You're saying, then you ask yourself, why have you got to say so that, I must be perfected? In order for me to be perfected, I need to be influential on this planet Earth. Why do you have to say so? Probably that's what you're questioning yourself internally. In one of the Torahs, a Hebrew writer called Moses wrote in Genesis chapter 1, in one of his writings, it did say that then God said, be ye fruitful. Genesis chapter 1:28, multiply, replenish, and subdue. And I love the most how he concludes this. And he says, and you will have dominion all over the seas, the fish, and every living thing, in the earth, and have dominion. The word dominion is the same word that can also mean influence and have influence. So man is mandated to have influence. It is an assignment. It is a mandatory assignment for you to influence, for you to be able to influence on this planet Earth. You ought to position yourself that you are obliged to. It is not an option. That's why I say that influence is mandatory, never optional. It is mandatory. It's never optional. We ought to be influencing lives. It is intertwined. It is deeply embedded, It is deeply embedded into our system, We cannot treat it as an option. As a by the way, man is deeply wired, built, fashioned and made to influence in his areas of habitation, residence, communities, societies, clubs, friendship, family institutions, ministry. We are always influencing somebody. If we are not influencing, we are being influenced. With what we watch, with what we read, the people we listen to, the books we read, the magazines we read, the billboards we watch as we walk on the street, the music we listen to while in the car, in your very private time all by yourself, chilling down and thinking. There is an influence going on in your internal faculties of your being, with your mind and the subconscious mind and the conscious and the superconscious. There is an internal dialogue, and it is all processing what you heard, what you listened to, and it is starting to have a bearing and an effect on your life, on how you're going to proceed, what decisions you're going to make, what step you're going to do next, the strategies you're going to have. It is all influence. The news you listen to, it is influencing you. So we are eternally built. We are wired and fashioned and made to influence. If not ye be that you're influencing, that means you're being influenced. And a person who influences you has an upper hand over you because he is having dominion over you. So why is it then that we are finding ourselves in a very complex situation as influencers if we are mandated to be? influencers, to have dominion. Why? Anyways, we'll look at that later. Therefore, I want to say it is very catastrophic, dangerous for you to live without influence. Denying yourself to live as an influencer is self-abuse to your timeless seeded assignment. It is self-abuse to your personal existence. Because that means you've accepted to be influenced by anything that comes your way, by what you watch, by the people around you, by the news you read, by the billboards you read. That means you can be tossed anywhere. You are not consistent in thought, in what you believe in. Why? Because you are embodied or discarded or absconded from your right authority of influence. So you become from a place, you stall yourself, you reduce yourself, you stoop yourself too low to a point that you abscond your influence authority and then take on the mantle of being influenced. In other words, you become a second hand or a subject or a victim of everything that surrounds you. As a timeless transformer and as a community, as a nation of timeless transformers, with purpose to live to the fullness of our greatness, and anything outside influence is not our portion. That's why we ought to understand what is influence before coming to a place of how to become influential. We need to understand then what is this thing we are talking about, influence? Because most of us have different perceptions about influence. Well, influence comes from a root word, a Latin root word called influentem. Influentem, which means power flowing or radiating from the stars. It's a Latin root word called influentem, which means power flowing or radiating from the stars. That means you see, when power returns, usually, I remember while we were growing up from our humble village where we came from, Carol and Mama Becky and Constance over there, the others, sorry, we come. This is a family where we've grown up with each other. But every time power went off, it was so dark. You could actually see less movement. But the moment power came back, man, there was such a radiancy, a light that would fill the entire village, and you feel life sparking again. That is what they call influence. The power that would come out would release light, and you could feel light sparking up again in the entire community, and you feel people starting to move again, and and you would hear people shouting in their screens as little as we were, hey, power is back, hey, and all these things would happen, and man, you go like, wow, power is back. We're going to watch this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. It brought life again into people, and people would still feel, oh man, now I can watch this. I can go do this. I can go do this and the other. Why? Because there's been a transaction of power into a community, into some people's lives, and they are able to see, with clarity. That is what influence brings about. So it comes from that word influentem, power flowing or radiating from the stars. That's where it gets its originality. So therefore, as a personal description of influence, this is what I would say. Influence is the ability to dominate. I'll come back to that word again. To dominate is the ability to dominate or shine in your area of specialization. The ability to dominate or shine in your area of specialization or mastery to a degree that effects a difference, a change, a transformation, or bring impact in that area. So one's ability to dominate or specialize or shine in a state, in their area of mastery or specialization to a degree, that begins to effect change, difference, impact, or transformation, then in that state, they have started to influence to a point that people begin to listen to you. People begin to trust you. People begin to say, without his decision, we cannot move ahead. People begin to be submissive. They adhere, they are obedient, they heed, and they hearken to what you say. They are always saying, if you keep quiet throughout the entire meeting, they'll say, we've had it all. What is your take? Then you know you've got influence. That means there is a power that is trapped on the inside of you, that you've specialized on, you've mastered on, and every time you deploy it, you dispense it, it begins to effect change. It begins to bring a difference. It begins to bring an impact. It begins to bring, oh my goodness, transformation. And that's what we call ourselves timeless transformers. Without influence, you are short of being a timeless transformer. You are short of it. So precisely, influence is getting your shine on. Somebody say, getting your shine on.
Getting your shine on.
Getting your
That's right.
shine on.
Getting your shine on. You say, at times there is a time I used to say, get my shine on. Hey, 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 get my shine on. Get my shine on. I was trying to get myself pumped up, pushing myself internally, that there is something trapped on the inside of me. There is a power that is on the inside of me that I need to get it on, get it on, get it on, get it on, get it on. And I didn't care who said what, who talked what, who said what. You may have said silly things about me, cast me, mocked me, defamed me, beshamed me. I didn't care. You were wasting your time on talking about me, but me are saying, I'm getting my shine on. I'm getting my shine on. I'm here, I am, and I'm still saying I will get my shine on until my shine shines, until it shines no more. That is how you ought to bring a difference, getting your shine on, that thing which you've mastered, that thing that you've specialized on, that you've subdued, you have become an authority in it, that it radiates and flows out of you to the degree of effecting change, bringing a difference, bringing an impact, bringing a timeless transformation. When you get your shine on, oh my goodness, if you want to see what they call shine on, get Mama Becky to get on the dance floor. Man, I keep watching her YouTube things and I'm like, man, I feel at times I want to be like her. And I realize, oh, I'm aging. I'm 46 now. I can no longer, get these bones running like I used to. But she has this contagious spirit around her, influence around her, power that radiates out of her shine of administratorship. When it comes to administrativeness and directing and being a leader, she will push you to the edge until you become that influence, that power drives her. Even when she holds a program, you see her exuding with influence. She gets you to a point that you cannot hold yourself anymore, but empty yourself, because she has triggered the power on the inside of you to begin to function. That is what they call influence, because she's mastered her area, her specialization. She's mastered it to a degree that it begins to bring change, difference, influence, and transformation and impact to the people that she surrounds herself with. It is very sad if you had Madame Baker in a meeting and she's kept quiet throughout the meeting. You just know something is not right. She has to say something. And usually when she says it, you will know it has to work, because she's naturally choleric. So you ought to have that. When Tina begins to sing, that power that is trapped there, and Paul said that we can do all things through Christ who strengthened us. And he said that which that power that is trapped on the inside of us, that we can do exceedingly and abundantly beyond what we can ask and what we know of, according to the power. This is the influence they are talking about, the power that is on the inside of you. That is what they are talking about. What is that thing trapped on the inside of you? Like, Tina there, Narisa, the power that is trapped on the inside of her, she worked on it. She said she worked on it. She went repeatedly, sustaining her volume, screaming out loud, and working on her voice and polishing it and refining it. She was developing the power on the inside of her. Now, when she sings that, even without the instrument, man, you feel a spine tickling all over your body. You feel its mouth watering. You feel she's speaking to your spirit. When it said it is already done, I could literally feel it in my bosom. I could literally feel it around me, that I'm not going to drown with the waters. I'm not going to drown with the storm of the pandemic. I'm not going to drown with the lack of a job, or with this disease, or with this calamity, or with this trouble, everything that is troubling you, because she has specialized in her area of mastery, and now it's beginning to radiate. When she deploys it out, it begins to bring to effect change, that the person who came troubled on this platform today, when they had her sing, they could not hold themselves, but to just make sure that they go back with hope. Why? Because someone has influenced. They've influenced us to believe and hope for the best. What is that power? Your area of mastery, your area of specialization, your gifting, your talent, your ingenuity. Oh my goodness, what is it, that ability, that capability that you stopped and embedded inherent of you, that you got to release and deploy? And when you release it, it brings change, a difference, an impact, or a timeless transformation. What is it? That is what they call influence. Therefore, I want to say this. Take note. Never misrepresent fame and popularity for influence. I repeat, Never misrepresent fame and popularity for influence. Madam Speaker, Madam Becky, can you help me tell me how much time I'm left, because I don't want to get overboard. This is a very large topic. I can't discuss the entire day.
I am actually also enjoying. I am still I am still enjoying. I did not give time on that. Let me find out with my IT personnel, see
Okay,
how much time we're left with. But I was enjoying. I did not even mind about time. But let me
okay, okay. As we proceed, it is important for us to understand that we need not to misrepresent fame and popularity for influence. Take note, you might be famous, but not influential. You might be popular, but not influential. Madam Becky, I'm waiting for you. I need to master my time as well. So it is important.
Oh yes, just give me 5 and then I will let you know.
No worries.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, fame flames out so fast. Like you hear fame, it flames out so fast as it is to populism. Populism flames out so fast, and fame. Actually, the word popular or populism comes from the word population. Are we together on that?
Yes, just before you go forward, you have 15 minutes left.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I need to 15. Oh my
Yeah.
God, that is interesting. Um, I wanted us to understand, it doesn't matter, I've set the ground for this, uh, to understand that we need to differentiate fame and influence. Popularity and fame are not necessarily influence. Fame does not last. Popularism or populism does not last. But influence outlasts you. Much as you hear popularity, actually, popularity being that it comes out of population, the moment the people gets tired of you, and that is it. You're no longer influential. But with influence, with or without you, with or without the people in your community, influence will always stay influence. It's a constant. So it's more unlike of us to always seek for influence. Most people seek for fame and popularity. But influence is timeless, it is eternal, it is not short-lived, it brings impact, change, difference in people's lives and transformation. And on top of that, not only transformation, but timeless transformation. For instance, if I talked about in politics, if I did mention Mwanga, he was a president at one time for just a few minutes. He had fame. And when I talk about Mutesa, he was also president, the first president. But what happened? He was influential. Today we speak about him more than Mwanga. Why? Because he had influence. Come to the world of sports. You talk about maybe Roy Keane and Vieira. They had fame. They were popular. But there are kinds of people in sports that you talk about and you hear influence. Pele, Messi, you know, Maradona. Those were they were influential people that even after the death, they are still talked about. They impacted people's life. They are looking up to them. You know, you talk about in religion, talk about, let us talk about the biblical people. You have Judas Iscariot and Peter. Judas Iscariot was famous, was known, popular. But then Peter was an influencer who is termed as the first pope. He is still impacting life even after his death. You know, this is what they call influence. Pontius Pilate and Jesus. Pontius Pilate was known as a king. He was the king in the days of Jesus. But Jesus was influential, timelessly influential till this day. Years, thousands and thousands of years, is still impacting lives. That is what is called influence. It is also important to note any kind of, just look at music, the entertainment world. You know, the entertainment world. There are them that are famous and them that are influential. A person sings a song and it only runs for a period of time, a short while, and it is no more. Another one sings a song, and you know, the Eli Wamaras, the what is this guy? I'm forgetting the name, who sang most of the Christmas songs we pray. Bonnie who? Philelutia. But compare Philelutia and Rabadaba. Rabadaba's songs. Which song do I remember there? Rabadaba's song. Even I can't even track one of his songs. But Philelutia, you know, played us so many songs of Christmas that today, till date, they are still replayed. During Christmas festive seasons, they are the ones running. That is called influence. Influence is timeless. You also need to note that influence is not about duration or length of time. Rather, it is how impactful you are. It is not about how long you've lived. You know, it's not about that. Take a look. The oldest man in this world, Methuselah, he lived for 969 years. He's famous for his old age. Written in the books, Guinness Book of Records, in the Bible. He's famous for that, but not influential. All he's spoken of is he lived 969 years. He's popular for his age. He's famous for his age. Methuselah, the Bible talks about him. But Jesus lived 33 years. 33 years. And he is still timelessly influencing lives. So do not misrepresent age or duration or length of days or longevity of life for influence. You might be famous for it, but not influential for it. You know, so it is important for us to understand influence. What is it that you deploy, that power, that gifting, that talent, that ingenuity, that ability and capability that you deploy to the world, that the people around you are affected with change, with a difference, with transformation and impact. Therefore, I rush into, now I'm going to start rushing so fast for those of you who are writing. I don't know, maybe you'll get the soft copy, but let me dash. Before I come to how do you then become influential, I want to give you the constituents of influence. When you see these constituents, you know that you've started to get into the realm of the influentials. Number one constituents of influence, it's called wisdom. The Bible says that wisdom is the principal thing in all that get understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing. Every time you ooze out with wisdom, people will listen to you. They will start to tap into it. They will love to tap into it. For instance, the Bible talks to the one of the wisest men that were the earth has ever experienced, and next to Jesus was called Solomon. Solomon was full of wisdom. When he spoke, men, that queens and kings and other kingdoms heard of how he took a decision, and they were like, wow, what kind of wisdom is this? That even till to today, everyone is still stunned by the decision he made. When they two people had an issue, had a fight over a baby, and one said, let us carry him, and the other one said, no, give it to him. Why? Because he had wisdom. The book of Proverbs is full of his, inscriptions, full of wisdom. The moment you step in a place of wisdom, you are going to bring people to begin to consult you. And when they begin to consult you, that means you are effecting change. You are effecting a difference in their life, an impact in their life, and timeless transformation in their life. So they want to listen to you. Then you started to become influential. When you get wisdom, you actually begin to get where you become wealthy, because people are consulting you and they come with a price to it. When the Queen of Sheba heard of it, she came with gifts to Solomon, and she gave her presents and became wealthy. The Bible says, and Solomon was wealthy. Why? Because there was wisdom. And every time you become wealthy, the Bible says that the rich make more friends, but the poor, even the neighbors, run away from them. That was what Solomon wrote. When you become wealthy, you become a point of reference. They will not do anything until you've started to influence lives. You're impacting lives. People have to consult you. The other constituent of influence is called ownership. When you own something, you own land, estates, you have an owning to something, people begin to look up to you. You may be a landlord. The people that are tenants on your property, on your estate, they accord you respect. You're starting to influence them because you are owning stuff. You are owning property. You're owning estate. The people that are tenants, they begin to listen to you, to adhere to you, to be obedient to you. You're effecting change in their lives for them to have a comfortable place where to live, or rent for their place of work or ministry. They had here and be obedient and submissive to you. That is already an area of influence. The other thing is power. Being in position of power. Every time you have power, like politicians, to take decisions and make decisions, the politicians and the parliamentarians, you are in a state of influence. You are in a position of influencing other people because you effect change, differences, transformation in societies, in individual lives, in communal lives. You are effecting change. So you have influence over people. The other thing is people. Whenever you have people around you that believe in you, that means you are able to begin to influence these people because they listen to you, they believe in you. The other thing is controlling systems, like let me say Bill Gates. When you have the ability to control systems, he came out with the Microsoft software, and he reproduced it, and eventually, before we know it, this guy had the government even of America had started getting scary of him because he had reproduced it, and it had become a monopoly in the entire world, and one person was filthily getting wealthy, and it scared the world and the entire government until they started to to calm down and restrain on his control of systems, the apps. And, you know, when you control that, you begin to have influence. He had control on most of the things we see on social media and all this, and, you know, the tweets and all these things. They bear something to do with controlling of systems. When you have that, you have power. That's how someone can stop someone to say you, or Facebook can say it no longer has, it doesn't accept Trump to use Facebook, because they are controlling a system. When you do that, you have influence. You are affecting people. You are transforming people. Look at what the social media platforms do. Just because they are controlling, they are into control of systems, of the virtue of the digital world. So when you control systems, you are in a place of influence. The last one is, the other constituency is called specialization. When you specialize on your gifting, on your talent, on your ingenuity, that science that is embedded on the inside of you, that administrativeness that is involved on the inside of you, that art involved on the inside of you, you are beginning to develop, to master, and subdue that talent. And by the time you deploy it, it begins to effect change, bring a difference, bring life into other people. So those are the 7 constituents of influence. Now, how do you become influential? I'm going to run so fast and make sure that I'm done in this ones very fast. Number 1, discover your shine or dominant. Discover your shine. What is it that you shine in? Discover it. When you discover that gifting, that talent, that ability, that ingenuity, your attachment to science and innovation and creativity and art and eloquency and oratory and music and sportsmanship, when you discover it, begin to develop it, you know, begin to put a lot of time, spend a lot of time on it. Number 2, develop your dominant. Develop your dominant. What is it that is your dominant, that shine, that gifting, that power that is embedded on the inside of you? Develop it. Develop it. Like you see a baby is developed gradually. You conceive that you've got this dominant in you, this gifting of singing, this gifting of administration, this gift of science, this gift of sportsmanship. Begin to when you conceive it, begin to develop it like a child in the womb. Begin to feed it, begin to work on it, and before you know it, it starts to grow slowly, by slowly. Before you know it, it is starting to shine. And when you develop it and you release it and it begins to manifest, do not stop. Don't stop. Continue refining your dominant. That is the other factor. How to become influential. Refine your dominant. What you refine, you invest in. I repeat, what you refine, you invest in. Invest in books that are correlated with your ability, with your gifting, with your talent, with your ingenuity, with your innovation. Invest in mentors and influencers. Buy their books, buy their audios, buy their everything, extract, journals, read about them, autobiographies, read about them. And in that sense, you are refining your dominant. You are refining it. And then after refining it and making sure it is refined, reproduce it, give it to people, reproduce it to people, give it to people, give it to communities, give it out on virtual platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, websites. Just give it freely, and before you know it, people will start to buy. You are buying mileage on the virtual world. People are going to start calling you for consultation because you're impacting, you're influencing their lives, and before you know it, they will begin to cash you in. They'll begin to send you a check. They'll begin to say, how much worth do you go for? And then there you will start to subdue. When you reproduce your dominant, you then go to master your dominant. Don't go and say, oh man, I've started getting something. Oh, people are listening to me. You start to get consumed with the influence you have. Don't get consumed with your influence. Begin to master it. Begin to take control of it. Begin to work on it. Grind it. Make sure you are a master. You are an authority. Specialize on it until you feel you are at the top. Even when you're at the top, you're most likely to fall. Wherever there is a rise, there is most likely to be a fall. So how do you sustain yourself in a place of highness? You ought to master, you ought to build a muscle to stay up there. Do not get reluctant. Every day, work on it, work on it, work on it. Do not give up. Much as it is starting to become an issue to the world, do not stop. Continue mastering your dominant. And after you mastered your dominant, deploy your dominant like never before. Deploy it. Deploy it. Whenever you begin to deploy it, people will take notice. You will have subdued. People will begin to celebrate you. And when they celebrate you, you become an influence. With the mastering of your dominant and all your shine, influence is inevitable. I repeat, with the mastering of your dominant, all your shine, influence is inevitable. Therefore, master your shine. And with all the above specifications of how to become influential, you're bound to bear the 7 consequences of wisdom, of influence, sorry. When you do these specifications, you are going to bear fruit of the 7 consequences of influence. When you master yourself and deploy yourself and refine yourself and discover your potential and develop your dominant, your shine, refine it, reproduce it, master it, deploy it, man, influence is inevitable. And it is going to position you to begin to have the 7 consequences of influence. Number 1, whenever you master and specialize on something, you see how Tina was telling us, I did to work, I came back after having seen these ladies sing like the audio she used to listen to on TV. They influenced her, and when she came back, she started developing it, she started refining it, she started working on her voice. She started badly, but she was developing it, and when it got there, she refined it, and when she refined it, she reproduced it, and when she reproduced it, Watoto got notice of her. She continued doing it. She mastered it. She did not get comfortable with her reproducing it in Watoto. No, she mastered it, and now she's deploying it to the world, and before you know it, influence will be inevitable for her. Why? Because she has learned how to develop influence, how to become influential, and then she begins to have wisdom, knowledge about it, vast knowledge and understanding, techniques and the loopholes and the failures of it. And when she masters that art, she's able to pull off as a wise person in that specialization. And then when she does that, she begins to attract wealth. And when she attracts wealth, you realize it will lead to ownership of property and estates. And when she does that, it will lead to power and to becoming power. And when she has power, she's able to control systems. And when she's able to control systems, she's able to attract people. And when she attracts people, influence becomes her next character. As timeless transformers, we ought to be influential people. But remember, influence, not impose yourself. There is a difference between influence and imposition. Some people will come and impose themselves on you. I'm sorry, like some religious leaders, they will say this and this. You see, they are imposing themselves on people, but there is no change in their lives. But you come and speak a word, and people will take it in and sub it in, and it will bring a difference and impact. And everyone is like, wow, this was so beautiful. You've influenced but not imposed yourself on people. I pray that you influence lives timelessly, not impose yourself on people. Thank you so much. Once again, Edwin Peter, the timeless transformer, the living timeless solution to the world's problems. I'm here as a success, not a failure, born to win and not to fail. Thank you so much. God bless you. Without you, we wouldn't have been here. Back to you, our moderator today, Madam Becky.
Wow, wow, wow. I am amazed, I'm electrified, I am dazzled, I am so many things. Oh my God. Thank you very much, Edwin Peter. I know that I know that I know I'm not the only one this has blessed. I see Fina over there says that was her word. I think I'm sharing it with Fina. It is also my word. The difference between the influence and popularity and fame is something that has come to my shine. I am getting my groove on, my shine on. I hope every one of us has known that I'm getting my groove on, my shine on, and then I'm displaying it, get it, polish it, display it, and then move on. It is so good to hear these words. I know that some of the things we even know, like get wisdom in all thy getting, get wisdom. But a point, as we grow up, as we live this changing world, we tend to forget some of the things. And hearing it from you today is so great. It is so electrifying. Like I said, I am amazed. I'm amazed. I know every one of us is amazed. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, the timeless transformer. I know everyone else is saying thank you. The rest of them said thank you in a chat. So if there is anyone who has a question, because I know we're running behind time, kindly send it in to our timeless transformer in a chat. And if you have one, as we move on, but if you don't, I would love us to again unmute our microphones so that we can declare our slogan. Now that we've been electrified, I need us to declare it like never before. We are going out there to practice what we have learned today. Today has been our garage. He's been working on us, putting this and there, things back to normal. And then during the week, let us show what we got. Let us show our shine. Let us influence whoever comes our way. That is the way it's done, because we need to practice it. Do we have any questions? Anyone? I am electrified. Do we have any questions? Anyone? Okay, so I think we do not have any questions right now. So I would request every one of us to unmute their microphones if you can. Mark, Carol, Tina, and Ale over there. The rest of us that are on, that are stayed on, could you kindly unmute your microphones so that we can have our slogan once again? Oh, thank you very much. I can see Tina has unmuted herself. Mark, can you be able to hear me? Miss Phoebe? Fina?
Yeah.
Okay, all right, all right. I think some of them cannot hear me properly, or some of them have network issues, but this was great. So our slogan, once again, can we all say our slogan? 1, 2, 3. We are timeless transformers, and we commit to live our
greatness.
greatness. So Tina, over there, you're a timeless transformer, every one of us. Let us commit to doing this. And then next Friday, I am committing every one of you to please have someone join. I will personally remind you of this. I will be sending you WhatsApps. I will also use the help of my dearest IT personnel to send you reminders. I need to see a lot of people, because it breaks my heart to have this beautiful, beautiful influence talk, this beautiful message from our timeless transformer, and we have
Yeah.
friends that really would gain from this. I know you have friends that would want to gain from this as much as I have so many friends that would want to gain on this. So next time, everyone, I commit you to bring at least a person. I will have 2 or 3 online, and we will have our shine on once again. So thank you very much, everyone. It was very nice being your host once again, Becky Pounds. And I love you all. If there's anyone else who has something to say, if not that, not again, not until we meet again, I love you. Cheers. Bye bye.